sort of a nuts and bolts question. The first time, many years ago, I tried to do what you guys are doing. I just kind of dived right in, like a lot of people probably do. It's like, I can draw a little bit, I can write a little bit, I'll just do it, you know. And I didn't have any kind of business model. I didn't know anything about printers. You know, this is a long time ago. This is before like everyone had Photoshop and, you know, all carrying a computer on your head, you know. Do you recommend to someone who's just starting out, like, find a local printer instead of a Quebecor or going offshore or something? How do you round up, if you're just a writer primarily like myself, how would you round up an artist if you have not a lot of money in your war chest to pay a talented person to work with you? Do you give up half your copyright to that person? These kind of questions. I see Rich.
I'm just going to say one thing. I do it all myself, so I can't answer this question.
That's certainly one way.
For me, I mean, this kind of comes back to the core of what the Antidote Trust means to me, which is by knowing this guy and competing with him, and you heard his standards. Sorry, his standards are huge. I mean, he wants to compete against Marvel and DC, and for me, by knowing this guy, knowing him as an artist, knowing him as a writer, and kind of, you know, learning what he's learned over years, you know, that's what got me doing kind of meeting artists. That's what got me knowing how much do I need to spend on writers or artists or whatever, you know. That's so I say, you know, yeah, your competition isn't the guy next to you, but your partner is the guy next to you. So these people that come to these you know, indies and comics speaking things, and us up here, come down to booth 828, even if you're not gonna, we'd like if you buy our stuff, but even if you're not gonna buy our stuff, come and talk to us, because that's what we're here for, and that's 9/10 of the reason that we're at San Diego right now. And this guy right here, Carl Dancy, Two Fanboys, these guys are the, you know, proof of it, because they came to me, or they came to us, San Diego last year, and by now, they have a book that's been printed, because they were able to learn from us. So I say, yeah, if it's a local printer, I don't care if it's a local printer, I don't care if it's an international printer, if you go offshore, whatever. We've all dealt internationally, we've all dealt locally, we've all dealt with whatever it takes to get your book printed. And I'm doing it, you know, I'm X number of years old, but and completely doing it from this like rebellious nature. I'm not a fanboy. You know, these guys.
You're a fan man.
You know, these guys had those great conversations about, you know, Green Lantern and what his address is and stuff like that. I don't know any of this stuff. So I don't know any of this stuff. But I know all of the indies, and if you want to sit down and have a great conversation about indies, that's what I'm all about. So come on down to 828. But yeah, talk to your friends and neighbors, because these are the people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, and they're going to have the same answers or